Hello, hello. How are you guys doing tonight? Hopefully, everybody is having a good Sunday. Um, it feels like not like Sunday to me, just because, uh, well, mostly because I did birthday things yesterday, and I have tomorrow off because I was gonna have Friday off, and then that didn't quite work out because one of my good work friends was having their 20th anniversary thing, so that was cool. But yeah, hopefully you guys are well. Somebody was asking me last time how we were doing in terms of if we were crafting in fuzzy pants or not, and yes, yet last time we were crafting in my buffalo plaid ones because it was the prior to my birthday. But now that we are after my birthday, we have the Grinch ones on, and you can't really even see that. Oh, that's too bad. Boop, there we go. We have Grinch pajamas. So that is what we are rocking today. And we have a couple sort of gifts to myself, and one of them is a gift from my folks for in the Happy Meal department. And then I want to talk to you about coffee. Actually, um, as you probably know, one of my good friends released a coffee stamp set, and I thought we'd do a little play with that because yeah, I have a lot of Christmas products I have yet to use that I got this year. So why don't we do that? Because then I'll feel a little bit better about having purchased things. Hello, Brian. Welcome. So I should say hello to the rest of you as well. Hi, Pam, Cordelia, Elizabeth, anyone I didn't, and Deborah is here as well. Hello, Deborah. Welcome, welcome. And if you're not a coffee person, you can just assume that it's latte art with hot chocolate or something. But let's start with the thing my parents got me, which is pretty cool. There we are. And it'd probably help if we bounced onto my desk now, wouldn't it? Hello, Brenda. Welcome, welcome. And here we are. I found this cleaning my desk too. This is some pretty cool mica paper I made back in Halloween, I think. But my parents got me some new watercolors, and I haven't opened these, but they have been all over TikTok, which then meant that a YouTube creator I've been following for like years and years actually tried them because it was sort of like, is this like, how hypey is this product? Grabby has a fairly decent reputation, at least from what I've seen, so I'll be curious to see how I feel about them. They're relatively inexpensive. This set I think was historically about $50 and now it's about 30. So we got a toolkit with stuff we probably own, but it's nice. I mean, I think especially pairing sort of an intro. Okay, so we got a pencil and we got a water brush and we got a couple more water brush ends, which is nice. Um, we'll definitely try those out. Probably not tonight because I think I'm going to color some stuff. But it's a nice thing to throw in, I think. Especially if you're building something that's more geared towards starting folks, which this definitely is. I don't know if I have. Oh, I don't know if I see it, but this. And it's nice that it's coming with this watch card. This feels like watercolor paper. Looks like the colors are named. And it tells you how to use a water brush, which I think we probably all know. But I like this watch card, especially one you can ideally put in the palette. Um, I guess my expectations are these will be on par with like the Koi's and potentially um like the Michaels brand. Soho has a starter set that's somewhere in the same price point. I think you get fewer colors, but you get bigger. The Michaels one is cool because you get basically half pans, which are a lot bigger. Um, and this is a nice box for sure. I like the art. But we'll see if anything was destroyed. Nothing was destroyed. It is nice you get a little divider, which is great because if this whole thing was wet, it would be kind of a problem. I guess the question is, does our swatch card fit inside our palette? Because that would be real cool if it did. So basically, this can go here and kind of protect things, and it can, which is good. I would be a little peeved if it couldn't because um, I don't know how watercolory you guys tend to be, but I'll say the colors on paper don't look like the colors in the pan at all. These are like the kois where they're smaller than a quarter pan, so um, there's that. Oh, and we have a whole bunch of colors. I will probably swatch these out and then we can compare notes. But basically, like this can go inside and then the whole thing can close. But I don't know. The build quality looks pretty good. I will guess that they are dye-based watercolors, which are going to be, yeah, I'm gonna guess they're gonna be dye-based watercolors because they have all the metallics and neons and other things that don't exist in pigment-based watercolors. So I'll say they're probably gonna be. But I got them mostly for card making and to do water like quick watercolor on stamped images. And I guess a follow up from last time also was I was a little salty about my memento pad, and someone had suggested re-inking it, which I did have a re-inker, so I freshly re-inked this today. So it feels a lot juicier than it used to. So we will probably be stamping that tonight, so we will see how that goes. But that was what I got for my folks, in addition to a very nice birthday dinner. So that's pretty cool. It's nice overall package. Like it would be something you could give someone who wants to get into watercolors. Obviously, I have a bajillion watercolors, but yeah, we'll see. I think the question too, with palettes that I find is if I'm building my own palette, I kind of know what colors I tend to use. So I do think like there's something of an advantage to doing it yourself just because I don't know. I feel like as artists, we all have different tendencies. Like if you paint people, you're going to want colors than if you paint landscapes. I do need to brush up on how to do skin tones with watercolors because I almost always used to paint landscapes. So, anyway, also, products I don't think we're going to be trying out tonight, but I'm really interested to try out is Prickly Pear just launched this blending solution, and I want to try that out. It's something that's not quite glycerin, but in theory, it's well allows you to more smoothly ink blend stuff. So that's on the things to do on 12/19, not 12/18. Well, that's good. That makes sense because yeah, let me just change that because we can. Let's see. Do. Art Lazzi is on the 19th. Whoops. That's not what I meant to do at all, but you know. Art Yahtzee is on the 19th. And we will see how that goes. There we go. Now Art Yahtzee is on the 19th. Which is nice because it's nice that it's not overlapping. Yeah. But that'll be nice. Next Saturday will be sort of a double stream kind of day, both or maybe even triple because I've been trying to keep the advent calendar thing like its own thing and not have it intersect all the other streams. But anyway. Hello, welcome, Melissa. I hope you are well. Yes, there is a kitty. He is here. He was sleeping earlier, but now he's awake. Um, so let's move on to gifts I bought myself because we know there are those. Um, I wanted to pick. This is not too shabby's new bubble mailers that I don't think I've seen. Jamie recently like redid a bunch of her packaging, which is I think is cool. But anyway, I was watching Helen of Crafty Mama Diaries on Lala's stream for an Advent thing, I think. Hey, Miss Bell, how are you? And I wanted to pick up some more of her sequin mixes. They are both on her Etsy, which had fewer options. Let me just see if there's anything else. Yeah. So but Jamie had a bunch more. Basically, and these are the ones that I got last time. This is the Halloween mix, which is called Moonlight something or another. But I think it would be really good for New Year's because it's got a lot of iridescent blacks and whites. It was a Halloween mix, but it's also sort of a black and white one. And this is the No Elephant Around, which is a really nice Christmas one. Anyway, I wanted to pick some stuff up for, well, mostly for a challenge that we're not talking about yet that's happening in January. It may or may not involve iridescent snowflakes. Who knows, really? It's a mystery. But they had this like a pure snowflake mix and then an ice storm. I feel like I only bought four of these, so I think one of these is another one. And then there were pink. I got the pink and white one mostly for Valentine's Day stuff. And then this one is interesting. This is purple, but it's reading very clear on camera. So I think it's much more of a that. And then this I got for sort of spring because it's macaroon inspired, but it has a lot of pinks and blues. Anyway, I like bling. So and I've been following Helen for a long time. So I always like to support a friend when they're doing things. The tailored expressions is that? I don't know. The tailored expressions thing I want to try are the quads, but every time I go to put them in my cart, I like put five of them in my cart, and they're kind of spendy. So I don't know. And my other cat is here to investigate packing tissue. But yes, I only have a couple more things. Maybe we'll see. So the next thing is Delisa's fault, sort of, but she's not on here, so we won't talk about that. But um, here we go. I'd been looking for a treat bag dye for a long time, and Stamp Amy Thing had a massive sale where like a lot of their foundational dyes went from like $15 to like $4 or something during Black Friday. So I picked up this because of that. And then while I was shopping, I also picked up a shaker tag builder because it's interesting. I thought this would be smaller, but it's a very good size. Do I have a card base? You'd think so. So this is a basically the size would be a good focal point on an A2 if you want to do it that way. And then this was also on super clearance, which is a wiper card builder die. So it basically puts all the score lines in for you. I don't know that I've actually ever made a wiper card, so I picked those up on Black Friday. So not a birthday thing, but they were. I don't know if they're still on super duper sale, but they were on super duper sale. Which reminded me, I figured while I was opening those, I remembered that I had a Stamp Amy thing order where I think I had bought a lot of their boy stamps. Um, this has been sitting in my to do pile for about, I don't know, 6 months. So I figured we could look at these two and see what I bought back then. Yeah, that's it. And they're kind of like a 2x3 or a 3x4 kind of size. So again, they're pretty good size focal point, and at the time I had a trainer who was really into martial arts, so I think that's why I got the guy doing karate. I get a kick out of you. Kind of cute. Most of the ones Delise had were more in the second style, and I also got a handyman one apparently, and then I got these two. I got a I got a fairy dude from the forest apparently, and again another like handyman kind of guy. This was the handyman, I think. This guy's more of a cop, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I picked those up a long time ago, and I'm excited to use them because I like doing boy themed cards because it really relates to stuff I remember from being a kid. Oh my. I should catch up on the chat. Hello, Blossom. Oh, who are we concerned with not feeling well? The Spellbinders Advent kit this year has been impressing me. Last year I was a little meh on it, but like I don't know why. I guess it seemed like all the things were unconnected, where this year they seem I don't know, they seem more universal. I don't know. I've been liking the looks of Spellbinders a lot more this year, so I'm kind of sad that I didn't pick it up. And Cindy is here. Hello, Cindy. Welcome in. Oh, is Tracy not feeling well? Well, I hope you feel better. And what else did I do? I swear this isn't going to be the whole stream again, but I had picked up another one of the winter collections from Echo Park during Black Friday, and they finally decided to ship it. So we can just take a quick look at that. Sure, I don't have any extra things there. So I had picked up some of the ephemera pieces. One of these matches the which one? Forget which is which collection are you? One of these is okay. So these two are winter, and this is the magic of winter. And then I kind of bought the paper collections too. This is the 12 by 12 that I opened on my birthday stream. So anyway, and these are typical Echo Park where you get the sticker sheet on the back. So I just picked up some coordinating stuff because I feel like I'm going to be making winter themed things at some point. Um, like the actual winter here hasn't happened yet, which is a little. Oh, migraines are no fun. One of my good friends in early in college used to get the like octal migraines, like where you're super sensitive to light, and that sounds like it would be not fun. Well, I wish you guys better health, hopefully, in the future. Oh, is Lynn live? I didn't realize Lynn was live. This isn't usually a time slot I think of her in. I'll have to catch up on her live later then. And the last thing I got were is kind of a gift to myself, but it's kind of not. Which is to say, I ordered some stuff from Cat Scrappiness that isn't the stuff we're crafting with tonight, and but it came with a freebie because Cat was giving away paper trimmers. So we will see what paper trimmer we got because I wasn't sure. She was giving away a bunch of them, and I was kind of like, well, I'm always excited to try a new trimmer, so I wasn't overly picky. As I'm never really overly picky, like if people want to give me free stuff, it's like although I'm actually in a pretty good place with trimmers, I really like my Fiskars one and for big stuff, and I like my Stampin' Up one for not big stuff. And I've been and I sort of rediscovered my Tim Holtz one. Oh goodness, there are many things in here. Okay, there is paper. My cats will be excited. And there's a trimmer in the bottom, and oh, well, let's just look at the trimmer. It is some kind of tonic trimmer. It is a big one. Anyway, so I don't know much about. Whoa. Scissors are trying to attack me. Anyway, let's get some bubbly wrappy off here. Anyway, anytime someone's like, "Hey, I'll let you have a free trimmer," I'm a fan of that. So, what do I like? It's pretty big and beefy. Like it doesn't fit in camera unless I do this. But what I was really curious about is how easy these are to measure because like the arms that flip out, like this is not at the same distance as this, so this will be interesting to see how this compares. Um I guess it's a looks more like a rotary trimmer. Let's cut something, shall we? Well, I might need that later. What do we have we can cut? I don't know what. Let's just let's just give this a cut and see how it cuts. It cuts quite nicely. I didn't have to do any work. Um the cut side here does not look curled, which is the current thing I dislike about my drop-in trimmer. So, other than it being requiring that I clean up my desk for it to actually fit on my desk, it seems pretty good. It's a lot heavier than the Fiskars one, and it does have a ruler thingy at the bottom too. Um, well, just for giggles, let's grab some random paper. I'm just curious how this measurement thing works. Uh, we'll assume this is 8.5 by 11. So at 8, we would cut off a little bit. This may be a bit bad assumption. I know this is 8.5. Okay, this is an 8.5. Let's try this again. So at 8.5, 8.5 would be here, and that looks correct. Um, this piece is slightly mangled, so let's say if we cut this to, let's cut this to 8. See, it's a little tricky. Let me show you. Because, like, the measurement, if I were to push this down, this is at 8, but if it then pops up, it's a little different. So I'm going to say, like, I would probably push it down. So let's see what this looks like. Wow, this thing cuts with like zero effort. But let's bring this over to my mat and see how close to 8 inches we cut. Uh, it is slightly long. I think that's because I pushed down. It is about a quarter inch. It's about a quarter inch long. So I think when using these, so if I sort of eyeball this a little bit more carefully. Now, if I didn't push this down, it's kind of tricky because I guess you could use the shadow. So if I say, how about you? Oops. That was just a marker. So that cut a lot closer this is the 8 inch line. It cut a lot closer. I feel like these kind of arms are a little finicky. That said, this will cut to at least 6 inches. So I shouldn't need to change it for most of what I'm doing, but just FYI. Um, I will add this to my various trimmers. I'll have to test it and let guys know what I think after I do a little bit more testing. What am I missing? Yeah, I'm curious, T. Have you found a way to get cats to not jump on your desk? Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. This is this is a professional operation, Mr. Lennox. That's why we're wearing fuzzy pants today. Have you found a way to accurately hit the rulers if you have them flipped out because I feel like the gap makes it harder than say um I think the thing with the Stampin' Up! One that's nice is like this just continues, so it's pretty easy to hit the right measurement. That said, the build quality on it looks really awesome, so I like that. It is definitely super sharp. Anyway, hi. Oh, sure. Sorry. Do. Give me one momento. That's not what I meant to do. Let's try. There we go. Well, there you go. And let me pause the events as well. Do. There we go. There you go. Now nothing should move. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a possibility. Yes, I think he is here to. He's definitely here to supervise. Yeah, I mean, like to me, it's sort of a weird thing for me to have an issue with one way or the other, just because it's like I so rarely cut big pieces. And I feel like I'd almost use the Fiskars one because it's like designed for 12 by 12 versus doing it on other things. Anyway, so those were the things. I did pick up a couple other cat scrappiness dies, but I feel like we've been rambling a bit. So let's talk about a project. And the cat who's on my desk again. Shoot you. Ugh. Oops. Lennox, say hello to the people. Hello, I'm Lennox. I'm causing a problem. He really isn't though, because like he'll basically hang out somewhere. It's just sometimes he hangs out on places I would prefer he not hang out on. But I mean, it's a cat. He's a cat. So what are you gonna do? Yeah, I mean, really. I mean, like I don't have to watch it that much. So I'm always willing to do that. And like if it's a thing that's annoying to people generally, like we could certainly go to like not scrolling things. Cuz I know that I had a I don't think it was a scrolling thing, but I know I've had coworkers who are um very sensitive, who are I don't think they were actually like color challenged, but I mean I think it was more like they would just bug them. Anyway, let's play with a card because that's fun. So I was in the mood to do a Christmas coffee thing because I have this coffee set, and what I was thinking, if I remember, whoa, I am dropping things on the floor today. I picked up this Just Coffee. Well, I think we're gonna need our snippy snips um soon. But I picked up this Just Coffee sediment, which has the cinnamon and also an outline die, which I've never used. So I picked this up during a release of coffee stuff a long time ago. And they had these mini candy canes and peppermint things, which I think would fit. I feel like these candy canes would fit perfectly on this coffee mug. So that's what we're going to do. And I was thinking that I would basically use some of my Christmas paper as sort of the base, but then essentially frame the coffee mug like this in one of these circle dies. So I think we can just stamp it and then cut it out, and then we should be good. And then we can go from there. 'Cause I had this cool Grinch paper that I haven't really used, but I thought that one of these more busy papers would actually look really good. Maybe this one because it's got kind of this burnout in the center. Like that might look cool with like if I do the coffee mug in like a green sort of tone. Anyway, let us get to stamping and coloring, and then we can sort the rest of that out later. And then once we get it together, we can figure out what we want to do for other bits and pieces. Uh, I sort of mangled this coloring paper, so we're gonna definitely want to stamp on this bottom half because I kind of did an oopsie. Hey Sagar, how are you? I hope you are well. We were playing with coffee. I am very interested to see if the feedback I got on my memento pad just being overly dried out is correct. So let us see how this stamps. Because I went and re-inked it. Because of course one of the things I found when I was cleaning up my desk between streams was the Memento reinker. So this definitely looks like it's getting more ink. So it might be that I just don't know what I'm doing, which yeah, so that went perfectly. So it turns out I don't know what I'm doing. So that's always great. Although it is better than the alternative of my ink pad, and the cat knocked this over again. Oops. Here you can see, but that stamped perfectly the first time. So that means it was just that my ink pad was dry. I don't think we're gonna need to stamp any more memento. Um, so these little doodads are all, and this one are all coffee. If you guys have a thought on if we want to do, I kind of really like this one. It's like this. I don't know what. I'm not remembering from the video, but it's sort of like it looks like a little grain thingy. This one would be kind of neat. I used this one for my first card just because I kind of liked it, but there's also some swirlies. Anyway, if you have thoughts on which one you like, say them now so that I can. Yeah, I know that you're like, I can go with that one. I know that you're a really big fussy cutter, T. Fussy cutting is kind of one of those things. And I used to put watercolor and coloring in that category of like, I would aspire to want to do that. Like if I enjoyed it, like life would be easier. That dried already. Fantastique. So this is going a little faster than I had thought because usually it doesn't. Let us see if we have. Oh, I like the leaf too. The leaf is my favorite. Yeah. If anyone present knows anything about latte art and knows what this is really called, feel free to let me know because then I'll start using the right wording. But, so there are two ways to do this. You can stamp it separately and fussy cut it out, but I'm just going to go for sort of center here. Um, this is beveled in a little bit, so anywhere it looks like a thick line, it is not. But what I'm going to do is just sort of lay this up. I think I'm going to use one of my green blends, so I think that it shouldn't be too big of a deal unless that moves. No, that looks pretty good. And of course, we can go in and get some nice coffee color. So ginger was the one I used last time, and then I do have sandcastle. Sandcastle, I think, actually will look more like latte. So let's try that this time around. Since this is a new stamp, I'll just wipe it off a little bit to get any residue and see if we potentially can stamp this correctly the first time. Oh, yeah, I know. You're right. It is tricky to stamp sometimes and remain on screen, but these stamps take ink really nicely, so that's cool. And then we will do that and hope we're mostly lined up, and if not, not really worry about it too much. But that's pretty good. I like how there are some speckles in the stamp. That's kind of cool. Are those? I don't know if the speckles are designed in. I don't think so. I think they're just that um because there's such big areas of stamping, you kind of get speckles. But I actually like them because I feel like it kind of adds to the whole latte vibe. So we are leaving those. Or maybe they're intentional. Who knows? Somebody's back. But this is looking pretty nice. Let me see if I can't find a marker. And the dull green, there's a dull green that's more ferny, which I think is going to be more of a Christmas green in my tri blends. So I think we will go with that. Let me just slide this guy up because we don't haven't needed our snippy snips yet, but I'm assuming that we will. Whoa, Mr. Bean, you're going a little crazy. Yeah. That's perhaps not the right place for you to be. Let me move all the cards you're knocking over. Oh goodness. It is that kind of a day. Yeah. Ah, could you settle, sir? He is looking at me. I see what you mean. The cats are the people, Cordelia. I'm a fan of coffee. Let, I'm gonna start with the mid-tone here and see how we go. I may want to use the dark one, the darker green on the edge, but let's just start out. See, I like this because I feel like this is sort of a Christmassy green. It's a little more of a natural green than a Christmassy green, honestly, but I think it'll be good. And like these are, or I should say, mugs are a very good thing to color if you want to practice coloring too. Um, just because the highlight is almost always like right here. So if you want to practice your blending, it's a good thing for that. I don't practice a ton, and I just oopsied on the side here, but with a lot of my sort of quick coloring, I don't really worry about that kind of stuff too much, as long as it doesn't seem like it would be like causing issues with the overall card. Make sure I let me move that up a little bit so I can color a little bit more. So I tend to do that, and then I'm going to go back in with, since I've used these before, I think I'm going to need sort of a tone that doesn't exist. So I'm just going to go in with my light and then pick up a little color from the tip here because I don't think this will be, yeah, I don't think that this is going to blend as nicely as I want it to. And you can also go back in with it and just do this more often to make it a little bit, or you can. My marker is squeaky, so this one may be running low, which is sad because I really like this dull green marker. I mean, obviously you can, get more. And then I'm going to go in over the whole area just to try and really saturate it and even out the colors a bit. And if you don't like marker squeaking, I am sorry. And depending on how you feel about this, like you can keep working on this for a long time. I'm probably not going to and rarely do, but this is a very much like it depends how you're feeling. And if you are looking more for Some people find this very therapeutic too. And I'm going in with the mid-tone. I don't really think I need the dark here. Um, and I think I'll do the back edge with this as well, and then come forward a little bit. Markers and watercolor are both things I kind of dabble in, so, you know, I'm certainly not an expert in either, but I enjoy both as mediums. There we go. I kind of like how that's looking. Gonna go in with my lighter shade here, and yeah, I think I'm going to want to do that trick again where I just pick up some color because I feel like this is a little too light. Yeah, I'm liking that a lot better. I'm liking it a little better pulling in a little more of the darker color here. And I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to come in here again and do the same thing now that this is sort of dried out a little bit. Generally, like watercolors, alcohol ink colors tend to dry a little bit lighter than they look, but I think this is looking pretty good. It's definitely looking like a cup of coffee to me. Just bring that up a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry. Wow. Camera is really making me look dark. Or making the desk look dark. Let me just see if I can't bring the light up on that a little bit so it's easier to see. Whoop. There we go. Yeah, I do make my own sound effects. So this is a really like I kind of like this as sort of a Christmas kind of colory cup, just because I know I'm going to bring in some red later. What I tend to like to do is I'll come back in, and if I see any sort of spotty bits, I'll just try and hit those a little bit. If you're concerned about things like this little oopsie here, it doesn't bug me that much, but that's definitely where you could come in with a blender if you so desired. Uh-oh. This is the danger with these tri blends. Like I almost went in with like the darkest one, and that would make life a little bit too messy for me. I don't know. I kind of like to come back in and just sort of blend this out a little bit anytime I come in and sort of touch up something. Hello. Now the cat he is about 2 inches off camera just watching me do stuff. So that that is pretty awesome. So I'm pretty happy with this. I think this will, but just to sort of walk you through it. Um, this is not a Spectrum Noir marker, but if you wanted to get rid of this oopsie, basically what you do is you just go in with the blender, which is the zero, and just sort of push it up to the edge. And what it's going to do is basically push the colorant down into the paper. And you can also do it from the backside. You can probably see it here. This is, as you can see, this really dark spot is a lot darker than these other pieces. Anyway, and you can keep doing that as much as you want if that's your thing. I just kind of assume that they're handmade cards and they're a little imperfect, and that's kind of the charm. But whichever you prefer. Let me catch up on the chat here quick. Yeah, I don't know. When I was working from home, I had a chair for my cat, so he could just hang out there, which he liked quite a bit. Yeah, they do that. And here's the cat to say, "Ugh." And now things are on the floor. We had an avalanche, and there goes my cat again. Until he comes back. Let me see. I don't think I lost any. I don't think we lost any critical supplies. Anywho, let us cut this out and see what we let's think about a card base for a moment. Ugh. I was thinking like this sort of brownish pink. So I think that would work with both. Where's something that's red? Let's just grab some red for. I think this kind of works as a color palette. Um, but it doesn't feel very Christmassy. So let's see what other options we might have in the old box of cards. We have a lot of them, and those are the ones we just looked at. We have pastels, which I think I'm going to pass on. Um, I kind of like this yellow because it's sort of a brown leaning yellow. So I think this would sort of work with all of this stuff. I'm thinking that we will probably pull pattern paper for the actual background here. So I don't know. This is a good option. Oh, I think there's. Oh, I have a brown. Let's do brown. I think like a dark brown will be like we're gonna cover most of this up, so I think that'll work. Probably the best. And then we won't really be competing from a color standpoint. But we probably can't die cut that out until we figure out what sort of background we want. So let's look at that. I'll leave you here. Um, and I think we were thinking this red, perhaps. I think that works. I'm kind of liking this. And then we'll bring this red into sort of the center point on the. We'll probably put a candy cane or a peppermint here. I think, um, as sort of the to bring the sort of the Christmassiness in here. But I'm thinking these hats would be really cool. Oh, congratulations if you are a fan, or condolences if you are not. It might be. You never know. If you're a coffee fan, it is. I think we'll just need to utilize all of our brain power to do math to try and get. Well, I don't know. Actually, I think we definitely want this centered. Um, we may actually want the focal thing a little higher, and then we can put our coffee over this once we die cut it out. So I think I'm going to go with that. So I'll just have to do a little math as, which is to say I'm going to cut an inch off either side. It helps when I'm even and don't mangle the paper, but it's a Sunday. What you gonna do? There we go. And I think I just want to cut this to 5 1/4, and then we'll be good. Over the 1/4 inches. And this is the first trimmer I ever bought, actually. So I mean, this guy is still hanging in there. I think we'll use this piece on the inside, maybe, because I've been kind of liking that look. On the inside of the card, just to sort of bring this in. So I think what I want here is just to get this guy. I think this is good. I think what could we do? Like a green, I think we probably want to do. So if this is cut out, if this is sort of a circle, I think green is probably the right answer because that will make this pop. Although we could do like a coffee color too. I am kind of liking that. Let me see how this die is constructed and see. Most of the cat dies have a shadow layer, so I think we could do like a white shadow layer. Yeah, this one's the same way. So I think we can do like a white shadow layer and then do this in like a coffee brown that I may or may not have. Oh, I have craft, which I can definitely ink up. So let's do that. That's easier than finding a different color. Where did I put? Oh, here's my well beloved desk containing thing. Wherever I put the ink I was just using. Oh, there it is. Not there, but here. So I think we can just go a little ink to paper on here and just make this coffee colored. There we go. Pretty easily. The cat is now playing King of the Mountain with himself. I don't think we need the rest of this, honestly. So I'm just gonna let this dry a bit and see if I didn't get ink on myself. Which if I didn't is gonna be a really good kind of thing. The nice thing is I think everything else we need to cut out we can do with the baby. So we just need to figure out where the cat hid my scissors. Oh, they're back where they're supposed to be. That never happens. And just go like that. And we have this extra little white piece. So I just need to split this die apart. Except I think I will do that down. As we said last time, we prefer not to maim me or other people on these streams. There we go. That's almost free. There we go. Perfect. And I like the white because it kind of goes with the Santa hat. So that's why I was thinking white. But if we die cut it and it looks bad, we will just redo that. So I think we can grab our little baby and try this guy out. I wish I had gotten the sidekick sooner though, because I just love it for stuff like this where it's like, and then you're done. Although we'll need to get out the big one later. Let's just sort of see how this works. So I think we'll put the circle will go here, but I think our sentiment will just overlap the bottom a little bit, which I think will be kind of a cool look. But this white definitely is going to stand out, and that was kind of the whole point. So that I'm feeling good about. And then I think we can just cut this other piece out of our homemade brown. And I'm sorry, I am not watching the chat at all. So once I get this die cut, I will see what you all are up to. That die cut out pretty nicely. Okay. Oh, there we go. Wow, that cut out without me having to actually do anything. Except I think I just lost the question. Oh, are you the question mark? You are not the question mark. I lost a question mark somewhere. But we can always re-die cut it, I think. Or we could just fussy cut, or we could just write in our own question mark, I guess. But this is how it's supposed to look, but I think we need a question mark. I may use a jewel or something for the little, whatever the dot piece is called, but let's just pass that through again. See if we can't get another question mark. I'm not sure how I feel about the joy. I love mine, but I don't know that I would buy it again. Here we go. So here's a question mark. I feel like I can just come in and not screw around with a dot. Let's try and let's see if I can't find some tweeters. I'm sure I just had some, which isn't unusual that I would lose things on my desk that I just had moments ago. Let me just. Ah, here they are. They're very wily. And I said I'd pay attention to the chat. So let us see what is going on. You are talking about design space. Yeah, I like my joy for sentiments, but that's kind of all I've been using it for recently. Yeah, like the Joy Extra looks cool to me too because it can do all the let's try not to lose that question mark while I'm getting things together here. But I think the Joy Extra looks cool because it can do all the print and cut stuff. Is that what I want? Is that the word I mean? You know what I mean, where you can basically print something off and then but we should make sure I didn't forget to weed something here. But um where you can basically like do stickers and stuff. Now I did, so let us improvise a little bit. Just see if we can't poke that little bit out. The bit does not want to come out, so we may have to live with it. They have glue all over everything. Yeah, this is a bit too wiggly to try and get that out right now. So let us just oops, not glue ourselves together, but then maybe we can pull this out with our tweezers. Or not. We can always go over that with a like a white gel pen too. Except I think I lent mine to my mother. Oh, here's another. No, that's not one. Oh well. We will go in and just touch this up a little. Ah, white colored pencil to the rescue. When I usually I would just use my gel pen, but my mother is using it to work on Christmas cards because we had bought Christmas cards that she really liked, but they're in a dark plaid, which like she can write on, but then no one can actually read it. So there's that. Anyway, there is that guy. And I think we can just use, I might have a dark brown colored pencil here. That is not a colored pencil. That is blue. That is not dark brown. This might be dark brown. So many dark colors. Sepia, perfect. I'll just do a little question mark and think we are good for our sentiment piece. We're good on this. We can put our glue away for a momento and see if we can't die cut out some sort of little candy piece. Assuming the cat didn't run away with that die set, in which case we can probably cheat and use ephemera, but let us hope that that is not the case. Let me just catch up on the chitty chat. I don't know if there's a way you can export them. Like, I know a lot of people have shared designs in Design Space, but I don't know if there's a way to get them out of Design Space entirely. But I am liking how this is popping. Anyway, That is this. That is that. Here are the candy bits. Now, I was really thinking candy cane, but now that I'm thinking about it, like maybe like an actual like peppermint might work. Like if I do this peppermint insert, I'm thinking like then you could see the green through it, and I'm thinking that might look cool. Anyway, always changing. Deanne is here. Hello, D. Welcome. How are you? I hope you're well. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I still have my design space because I stopped paying for Cricut Access at some point when I got Creative Fabrica, which I like quite a bit. I mean, I'm probably not getting the money out of it, but it's also $5 a month, and I paid annually, so there's that. Uh, don't do what I just did because cutting towards your hand is a really bad idea. There we go. So I'm just trying to get this one out, and I did. There we go. I'm thinking we can just cut that out of red. Excuse me, sir. You're on my red. Ugh. But the nice thing is we really don't need much of this because I like this cranberry red quite a bit. Although I do need to move this and move this, and we might need this later. Don't need this. It's always like whenever you do a live, it's like somehow a tornado hit your desk. Here we are. But I haven't like looked at much in my design space in a long time. Hi. The cat is staring at things off my desk now, which is kind of funny. So the good news is this almost entirely weeded. The bad news is I need a really thin thing to poke this out. So I don't know. I need a real pokey tool. It's nice of whoever gave me one to have done that. Here we go. Perfect. But I've been using my little glue bottle thingy. But I think this is gonna look really neat like this. Because that'll then bring sort of the red in. Although I don't want it like even. I want it kind of a little off center. So I think this is almost together. Sort of. I appreciate you guys hanging out while I'm just sort of having fun making a card. It seems like in my mind it always goes faster than in reality. But I think all we need to do is cut out our coffee and then put the rest of our card together, and then we are gonna be fantastic. Ugh. But we need the big boy, who's not even really a big boy. Here we are. Spoiler for a future project, Mirror Red cardstock. It has word letters that may or may not spell joy. Perhaps coming soon to an Instagram near you. So I am just I think I can just eyeball this. Like I don't think I need to be super duper accurate. If I did, I would go and find tape, but pretty much I just want to kind of put this in the center. I know that the bottom of this I'm going to kind of cover up a little bit um with that got coffee sentiment. So I think as long as sorry about that, put that end in, I think everything should stay together. And it did. I'm just surprised with this Platinum 6 that like the cats have knocked on the floor twice. Like I'm just surprised how it's stage functional. I mean, I don't know. Is that like a could that be good to email like Spellbinder's customer support and say like, "Hey, did you know your die cutting machine is very cat proof? Like they can knock it and it can fall a good 4 feet and they can, it'll still work." I misplaced my sentiment. That is unfortunate. But we can still get the rest of this together, and I will see if I can find it. This is sort of my idea that we would do that, and then the sentiment that is somewhere will go there. Oh, where did I put you? It's always amazing how you can lose things on your desk during the lives. It is pretty fantastic. Because I think it was over here somewhere. Do, 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 do. Where did you go? We needed. We did need this piece. I think for our in. Oh, sorry. We needed this piece for our inside. We just stand up and see if I. I'm guessing it went on the floor somewhere. Do, 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 do. That is not there. I do not know where that went. That is highly mysterious. So I feel like we just had that. Oh well. So let me put the rest of this card together, and then we will decide if we want to. We could certainly just die cut this out again, which may be where we go with it. But let's get the rest of this together first. And it may or may not turn up on its own because sometimes those things happen. And there's another cat scurrying around. I'd put money it's on the floor, though. I just don't see where. Mm-mm-mm-mm. What are your thoughts on GIMP? I've used it a few times and I've found it generally reasonable from the standpoint that it's a free project or a free open source project. But, there's also kind of the element of, like, I don't know, sort of like OBS. There's just stuff about it that's a little weird. And, it's probably never going to not be at least somewhat to uh, other things. Like I feel like if you're Adobe, like you want to keep your subscriber base, so you put a lot of effort into figuring stuff out. But I mean, that might be sort of an over. I don't know. As someone who develops software professionally, that might be sort of a bias, more of a bias and less of a real thing. There we go. Just wiping off a little bit of excess glue. And I think the bottom of this card base is a little. No, I put the panel on a little bit crooked. Anyway, that is sort of how the front is going to come together. And I think never cut this to the correct dimensions. Here's our other thing. The thing that's confusing me is I'm almost certain that we set that other piece aside to dry. So it should be like you guys can't see it, but it should be basically right above where you can see. And it's a fairly big piece to just have fall somewhere and not notice. I guess the other option is that when this is done, we could rewatch the live and see if we can figure it out. Uh, but I may just recut it because there we go. I'm just going to mat that like that so that you sort of have this peekaboo effect when you open the card. And let me grab my pokey tool and get some of the mess out of this. And I kind of want to recut this. So I think I'll do that. There we go. And I'm not that mad about having to redo this because there's kind of a few wonky. I had missed weeding a piece and that was kind of bugging me. So I think I'll recut this. Hopefully that's not super obnoxious to you guys. Oh, that's nice pattern paper. I'm not going to rip you. Where did my white go? Well, here's some white. Let me see what I'm missing going on in chat. Thanks, Cordelia. I'd suggest not losing your sentiment, but other than that, I think it's gonna coming together pretty nicely. And it's one of those stupid things where let me just put this aside to dry for a second. Like it's one of those things where by the time I get done with this, I'll probably find the sentiment. Because, that's how these things always go. It's like missing until you have a new one. It's kind of like when you like buy a re-inker you think you don't have, and then you find it as soon as like you've seen the one you ordered shipped. You're like, oh goodness. Although, while I'm thinking of this, see how this will. See, I think this is going to look really good because it'll sort of overhang a little bit. Anyway, we do have the opportunity to think about if the brown option was good. I don't know. I almost want to try cutting it out of something a little more blingy. Because I feel like, yeah, I had we'll see if this is good. I'm not sure. This could either be really good or really bad, but I had some remnant from cutting out the Joy card of the Advent series. So I'm curious how this like unicorn stuff, whatever it's not called unicorn, but to me it's unicorn. Uh, Iridescent probably is the real name for this. It's the well. Now this is a lot harder question mark to lose, so that's I think a win already. And this is coming out, and it weeded perfectly. That is the one thing I really like, but let's take a look at that and see if we think this is a good idea. We could, of course, use this red and cut it out. Oh no, I don't liking this. Sorry. Let me. But I think this is neat with the iridescent. Like it definitely adds some bling, which I think is nice in a Christmas card. So I think we're gonna go with that. We're gonna have the same issue of I don't really want to fuss with a dot, but you know, it'll be fine. The one nice thing about these cat scrappy knit, well, one of the things I like about her sentiments is that they almost always hang together, so you're not like having to deal with the whole figuring out how to put all the letters back together evenly. So I am not good at that for sure. And I do actually really like this foil paper because I feel like it just hangs together nicely. Let me get like it's a little more safe than other ones. I'm just going to blot up any excess glue because it is water soluble. So just have to be a little careful. But the good news about white is like you're not going to rub the color off, which is kind of a thing I've done on colored paper before. So I think this is better. That kind of I don't know. I like the brown as well, but I like this too. And then we just have the question mark. Do and then we'll just do that. I'm pretty sure I have a silver colored pencil we can use to dot in the dot. I have a gray one. I have a gold. I don't know if I have a silver. I'm pretty sure I should have a silver. I should have a metallic silver, but I think gray should work just as well. There we go. Wow, that's. Let me see if I can. There we go. So you can see how that looks. It's reading a little blown out on camera, but I think that it'll look pretty fun with the mug. Although I think I want to pop it off on some foam tape to give it a little more dimension. If I can't find, well, I'll grab my scissors I've been using for sticky stuff that aren't supposed to be used for sticky stuff. Uh, huh? Oh, there we go. I bent that a little bit. So I'll put one little square here, and I'll just cut another little square for here. I think that will put us together just nicely. I'm just going to center this. And I think we are pretty much done. I may look. Oh, I have somewhere. I actually have an epoxy dots that are gray that I pulled for this project that I'm not sure where they are. Yes. Ah, Kitty Chaos has happened again. We'll just see if I can find these quick, because that I think would look better. Found the blue ones. Not sure where those got to. Oops, sorry about that. But I'm sure I have a silver dot somewhere here. 'Cause I have a lot of bling. We have some. Ooh, a rhinestone. Rhinestone would look. That would look kind of cool. I think I'll do that. I do have silver. Jewels, 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 jewels. Lots of jewels. I'm sure I have silver somewhere. Actually, I think my mother stole my silver. Borrowed, never to return. This size, I think, is the one that I want. There we go. I like that better too. Okay, so I think our losing things actually helped. Let me clear my desk a little bit and see if I can't bring this a little better into focus for y'all. Because where we went? That was not the button I meant to hit. So let's try this again. There we go. Can we make you a little bit dimmer? There we go. That looks more like real life. The fun of, here we go. So we have got coffee with our jewel and our little nice, our Santa hats and our little peppermint logo on the cup with our nice little tree that's probably, or the leaf that might be called something else. Lynn, if you watch this video, let us know if it has a correct name. And then we have our little extra piece on the inside. So thanks for hanging with this fun little card that's sort of coffee and kind of Christmas. Thanks, T. I like how it came out. I kind of feel like the weird thing about cards is like making them a second time. They kind of come out better. Oh, for your holiday list? No, I don't know. I'm doing pretty well too. I know I have to print 50 address labels and I have at least 50 cards, so I think I'm good. I also have a bunch of pre-cut cheat loads. So I if I need more cards, they won't be hard to make. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. I think Lennox likes it as well. Or he'd like a treat. Or both. Perhaps I will just let him hang out on my lap whilst we are wrapping up. Cause yeah. And there we go. Oh, thank you, Nani. Should say Alyssa. Wow, I keep reading that and like sounds good. And I'm going to change this up so it doesn't have to scroll and I'll just leave this with like all my links because I think that's the one that makes sense. The the buy me a coffee link's in the bio anyway so people can find it if they need it. And I think we can definitely take the routine stuff off the scroll and then I think we don't need to scroll and that will be fabulous. Then people won't get motion sick. Anyway, thank you, Deborah. Yeah, I don't know. My problem is I do a craft fair, so and I just don't ever know how well things are going to sell. So it's like I don't want to make 200 cards and assume 100 are going to sell because I don't really need like 300 cards on hand. You know what I mean? Like I don't need a ton of them. Yeah, I don't know. Uh oh, okay. I don't know. Uh Mummy Guide Inc. suggested it, so I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's a little like I don't know. It's a little not super useful in the sense of like you could just put a PayPal link if you really wanted to, but like I don't really think anyone needs to donate anything. It's just like occasionally people will ask, so it's nice to provide a solution. But anyway, hi Linda, how are you? Great to see you. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll do that, Elizabeth. That's a good option. I mean, I think like anyone with a PayPal like has that PayPal me link anyway. Like I think that just exists. I think he looks forward to seeing you guys too. He always likes to join in and say hello. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's fun. And he's about to jump back up to say hello again. But anyway, um, well, maybe I'll do that if that's working well for you. I haven't looked in the back end of Buy Me a Coffee, but people have done that. So it'll be interesting to see. And you see, like, he has come and has blessing you all with his little white paws. He's literally right next to the desk. Yeah. I don't know, like I feel like getting the watch hours is trickier than getting the subscribers. Um, but things have been going well in the subscriber department later, so who knows? Yeah, I like giving people gifts too. And I love sending people cards and I don't know. It's so cool to be in the racks now because I like to be able which are random acts of kindness because it's just fun to just send people cards. Like if I got this card, I'd be happy. So anyway. Yeah, I mean I noticed that too. So anyway, that's good to know. I guess we'll see. I'm just enjoying the lives, honestly. Like I like chatting with all of you, and it's like I don't have a lot of crafters locally, so it's nice to sort of virtually craft with people. So I don't know. I just think it's pretty cool either way. But I think that is all I have for tonight. The internet behaved, and that's very cool. Tomorrow I am doing the Advent thing. I'm gonna do another 9 a.m. Advent calendar dealy, and then I'm back to work. So then they're gonna just float back to sort of that 5 or 6 o'clock time schedule, which I don't know. It's sad that there aren't more hours in the day to do fun lives and make cards, but you know. Oh yeah, no, I noticed that for sure. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. And thanks everyone else for coming. As always, if you have ideas for suggestions and whatnot, feel free to leave them in the description box below. That's how someone told me that I just needed to re-ink my memento, and that worked perfectly today. So, yeah. So, yes, if you have suggestions, a lot of you have been doing this for a lot longer than me, so I always appreciate them. And I know that Elizabeth is live at, I think she's back to her normal Mondays and Wednesdays at 6 o'clock Central. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow morning. And then, I don't know, just daily the rest of the week, I think. But have a great night and have a great rest of your week. Well, I guess I should say have a great start to the week. And Lennox also would like you to have a great week as well. So have a great one and talk to y'all later.